for a Shway Media podcast.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in the show do not necessarily reflect those of Shway Media or any subsidiaries. The program may contain strong language not suitable for young audiences. Series discussions will contain spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy the show! Okay, hey guys, it has been like 84 years.
Hello and welcome to Dubterfuge. I haven't said that since... When did we last record? Like April?
That
was me. That was me and Kyle.
Yeah, I haven't recorded since October. Or November.
Damn.
Or whatever we did the holiday special. So,
that would have been like November, December, yeah.
Okay, so, to fill everyone in... oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Luna, and I'm still alive, I promise.
Oh, yeah, and I'm Matt, and same, I'm not dead, surprisingly.
Yeah, I've been, I went back to school, so that consumed my life for, like, the past 4 months.
I started a new job, at the end of April, so that was a thing for a while.
Yeah, like it was worth it because I got excellent grades. But now that I have a little bit of time, we can finally get back to the show, and I caught up on so much. I like barely followed anything for the winter season. I tried to keep up a little bit with the spring, so now that I had like a little bit of time. I just binged watched a crap ton of shows. Let's see. I watched, well, obviously, either way I was gonna follow Fruits Basket, because have to.
Yes, I don't care what kind of anime fan you are, follow Fruits Basket.
No, like, it's what's so timeless about that, like, first of all, that show's just a classic. It's an instant classic. And you have fans from, like, all walks of life, even, like, way back in the early 2000s. Like, I remember being at conventions and seeing, like, these big, burly, like, dudes being like, oh, yeah, I love Fruits Basket. So, like, it's just, everyone can find something to like about it, I think.
I remember I watched it for the first time, it was I might have watched part of it as part of my anime club in high school, but the first time I actually remember watching it in its entirety was in college, and it was just like the heartwarming, wholesome thing my lonely ass needed.
I remember way back in high school, 15 years ago, this girl had the original manga, and she was like, oh, this is a manga about people that turn into animals. And I was like, wait, what? Really? And she was like, yeah, it's called Fruits Basket. And I was like, huh. And so way back in the day, when Borders still existed, they had a pretty extensive manga selection. So I went in and I bought like the first couple volumes of Fruits Basket, and I think the first couple volumes of, like, Chobits and, like, Paradise Kiss, and I just read the crap out of them, and then I was, hooked.
I just want to remind people that this was, at the same time that you're talking about, this was a time when Animorphs was still a thing, so there could easily have been a lot of confusion and cross signals about what she meant by teenagers who can transform into animals.
Well, considering Animorphs was, like, a book and not, like, a, illustration. Like, it wasn't, like, a manga.
True. I'm just saying I can easily see where the confusion could begin there.
Now, that could be the ultimate crossover.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that. You mean you can only transform when you're touched? Cool story, bro.
Let's see. Zodiacs. Okay, yeah. So I am the
What's
year
your zodiac?
I'm the year of the rabbit, which is the luckiest year. Because rabbits are lucky. So of course Mommy G is my zodiac twin.
Aw,
So
I'm the year of the monkey. I forget what character that is, or if we see him.
I don't think we've gotten introduced to them yet, but I think we will.
I forget, was the monkey in the original anime? I want to say it was, but I cannot confidently remember.
I don't remember. I actually bought the first 3 volumes of the new edition of the manga, and they're sitting on
How
my
was
shelf.
that?
They're like right across from me. It's really good so far.
Nice.
Yeah, they did an amazing job retranslating it and everything. And like just the books are a little bit bigger than you'd expect from like a normal size like manga. They have like a good like weight to them.
You mean like they're thicker, like more pages, or like slightly larger dimensions?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
And yeah, they have all new artwork that I think is like all original too. I got them in a bundle on Amazon. Not terribly expensive either.
Nice. I haven't bought any new manga in a while. The last 2 illustrated things I bought were some Avatar and Korra comics.
I had a well, actually, I just resubscribed to the Shonen Jump app, which, if y'all want to do that, it's literally like $1. And it's awesome. And there's so much shit to read on there.
I highly recommend.
And I used to have a Viz account, but I don't remember what my password is, so I haven't used it in a while. But someday I'll sort it.
I honestly can't remember if I ever had a Viz account to begin with. I want to say I did, but couldn't tell you for the life of me for certain.
Why don't you start with what you're watching?
Okay. I'll start with what I'm watching the dubs of. We already mentioned Fruits Basket.
Oh yeah, and
I'm also
they brought the band back together for the English dub, which was pretty amazing.
Most of the original cast, like the only ones they had to replace are people who either moved away or aged out of the role. Like Aaron Dismuke's character, Aaron was Momiji, and now Michaela Krantz is Momiji.
No. Not even close. No, Aaron.
Okay, correct me.
Aaron is
Oh, it was Kimberly Grant. You're right. It wasn't Aaron. And
yeah.
Aaron was young Akito, and he's also Hiro.
Hiro-sama, that's his name. Yeah, he's the one that's like, he's very he kind of like trolls Toru a little bit. Like he asks her a bunch of like really like
the embarrassing questions like ooh, which one do you like? That kind of one, isn't it? Or
no, he's really condescending.
A lot of that family is.
Yeah, it's not like he like trolls her by just being really condescending. Like he asks her a bunch of like why questions, but not in like a curious way, in like a like how much can I annoy you kind of way.
Okay. Yeah, it's been not even a minute. It's been a long time since I've last seen the original series. I did not binge it before this came on. I was busy changing jobs.
Okay, I found him.
Right. Fruits Basket, like we mentioned. Then the one of the sort of sleeper hits, I think, of this season is Kono Otomare Sounds of Life.
I just call it Koto Club because I can never remember the entire... I can't remember all of the title for it, so...
I just call it Sounds of Life, but it's a club, it's a school club music thing about this Koto club, which is it's a wooden, very flat, very long string instrument. Imagine like a bass, but flat and on this and laying down.
I would describe it as well, in Japanese culture, they compare it to a dragon's body.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a long, kind of curved wooden. It almost kind of looks like a fretboard.
A little bit, yeah. Like a really.
It's very long.
Like an iron. Like if you flip it over, it looks like an ironing board.
Yeah, and then it has like these little like pegs on it, and then you wear these little finger picks in order to play it.
On your thumb, middle, and index fingers,
yeah.
And then
I can play a little sample I have of one.
You came prepared. I did not even think to do that.
Okay. Let's see. So something like that.
Were you actually like plucking that? Like, was that like a digital instrument?
Yeah.
Wow. Did not realize
technology
that there was an app
is fun.
For that. There's an app for that, folks.
Technology is fun.
Yeah, just full disclosure, I am a sucker for the sounds that emanate from Japanese string instruments. Koto, shamisen, just about anything is just glory to my ears, and I love it. And there's also the relationships between the characters are just intricate and complicated, and you just want to love and protect all of them, and it's just really nice. It's a good show. It's not getting too much attention, but it's really nice.
I watched
another show.
Let's see. I watched like the most current episodes of the dub. I think it's like episode 7.
7, yeah. I just watched it like today or yesterday.
Anyway, we'll have lengthier discussions in a second.
Another one I'm watching, one of my favorites this season is Wise Man's Grandchild, the Isekai du Saison, if you will. It's an OPMC isekai. The main character is stupid powerful, but what they add to it is he doesn't realize just how stupid powerful he is because he never really had kids his own age around until he started going to high school. So then like he sees kids like casting fire spells and these little embers shoot out of their hands. Then he's like, okay, my turn, and just a freaking inferno death to the Empire fireball just shoots out of his hand like as easy as like tossing a coin into a fountain. And then everyone's just thinking he's amazing, and he's just like, I am. It's endearing, and then of course he gets a bunch of friends who are also strong but not as OP, and there's romance and friendship and just funny stuff. I'm hesitating to call it an Iyashike since there's noticeable like conflict and drama, but at the same time it is very chill despite that. Like, it's not the fact that the main character is like so strong isn't a deal breaker like it was for other isekai like Death March. Like the OP part of the character in Death March was just sort of like fine, whatever, just move on. But this part, in this show, it's sort of useful in a way. It's hard to explain. It's a good thing ultimately, and the dub cast is just phenomenal. Clifford Chapin's directing it. Aaron Dismuke's doing the scripts, and then there's, Damon Mills, Caitlin Barr, Brandon McInnes, and Lindsay Sadell are the 4 main leads, and then there's a bunch of other great supporting characters with awesome actors. What's the show you're watching?
So obviously Fruits Basket, because duh. Luckily, Funimation I think is doing like a true simuldub.
Yeah, it's doing that for 3 shows. Or
if I recall
down
correctly.
to 2, but it started with 3. They're doing it with Fruits Basket, Wise Man, and another show called Mix that we'll be getting to, but due to some production and I think leaking issues in Japan, that had to get bumped back a week or 2.
Okay.
So it's on a more expected simuldub schedule.
Thanks to Matt, I watched like the first 7 episodes or so of Kodo Club. I was not okay. I really hate the OP. I just don't like the song. I think the visuals are really nice. I just can't stand the song. I don't know why, but I can't.
I agree. If it's gonna be a show about a Koto, I expect some dang Koto in my OP or ED, and I was extremely disappointed.
I mean, it doesn't have to like dominate it, but just a little bit here and there would be nice. But that's just me. Like, I don't think it has to entirely be like that. Okay, so like case in point, for Kids on the Slope, it's a show about jazz, and you'd think the OP it would be jazz, but it's not. However, it works.
True.
Anyway, but
sort of like how it's sort of the opposite. Meiji Tokyo Renka is sort of the opposite. You wouldn't expect like big band style music for something that's Meiji era, but it works.
Actually, you probably would, because it's around that time period.
True. Yeah.
I don't know if I think that was after like the European influence.
Yeah, though
because
big bands were at the time though weren't big bands a bit more of an American thing, and we hadn't quite gotten around to talking with Japan yet. So I guess by communication communication networks at the time they could hear it secondhand, but still I thought it was mostly America that started big bands.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, let's see. This was not a show this season. I think this is actually last season. Like, I think this is actually in the winter. But I watched all of My Roommate is a Cat.
Yes. Let's talk about that briefly.
I ugly cried pretty much the entire time. It's absolutely adorable. You will feel things. It kind of made me want to just like hug my dog. And
I don't have a cat because my parents are allergic. So what I did was, since everyone on Twitter was talking about how they're gonna watch the dub with their cat, and I just felt left out, so I went and bought a little stuffed Litten Pokemon plush, and that became my cat when I watched the show. I'm sad, I know.
No, it's fine. I mean, I don't have a cat. I have a dog. My dad and stepmom have cats. But I have a dog. Who looks remarkably like the next door dog, Taro. Which is pretty funny.
I liked Anthony Bowling as that character in that role. Like, he was just be a dog, Anthony. Okay. Sometimes she gives me pats. I liked those. I thought just
so accurate.
Bless you, you pure innocent creature.
Okay, who did the voice of the giant ass like Maine Coon or whatever that was? Or like the forest cat, or I don't know what a breed it was, but
the one that the girl owned.
Yeah.
That was Jared Green. You would know him. He was the main guy in Hinamatsuri.
He's also in My Hero Academia and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that was Jared Green. I learned that fairly quickly because, God, that is a sultry voice for a cat.
I love that cat. That cat's awesome.
I love all the cats. I just want to hug all of them.
I like that Austin Tyndall got a little tuxedo cat that looks a lot like Haru. Named it Haru, and surprisingly, it acts very much like Haru.
Yeah, that was just too adorable. Like, irritatingly adorable. So what are you watching from this season?
Okay, so from this season, again, since spring kind of started while I was still kind of in the middle of school, I couldn't really keep up with too much, but I tried to stay on top of at least 2 shows, which are Fruits Basket and possibly my favorite show of this season right now, which is Sarazanmai, which is the latest from the notorious Kunihiko Ikuhara. And if you don't know who that is, oh boy.
What other stuff has he done?
He's had a pretty long career in anime. He's directed he's directed episodes of Sailor Moon. He's done some OVAs. He's primarily known for Revolutionary Girl Utena. Way back in the 90s, he did Maruru Penguin Drum, Yurikuma Arashi, and then now Sarazanmai. And each of his shows are very have something to say, very much. If you want if you want like a more extensive in-depth analysis or what have you into his work, Zaria, who is amazing, she has a video on YouTube that's basically about pretty much all of Ikuhara's work, and she goes pretty in depth. I learned a lot from her video, and it was actually because of her video I ended up rewatching both Penguin Drum and Yurikuma, because she helped me understand both of those shows a lot better. And now I have a whole newfound appreciation for them. So shout out to Zaria. Please go check her out. She's on YouTube and on Twitter. She's super, super smart. And she's probably one of my favorite YouTubers right now, honestly.
I will say, watching it, you definitely pick up some Yurikuma and Penguin Drum vibes from it. There were things that definitely gave me flashbacks to Yurikuma and what I've seen of Penguin Drum.
Yeah, he definitely has what I want to say. Ikuhara definitely has a style that you can see, I think, pretty much through all of his work. He definitely likes certain motifs, using silhouettes of people with spinning roses and so forth. He really likes to...
You see that in Yurikuma.
He likes to use these dramatic sort of artistic transitions for flashbacks, if that makes any sense. So for example, right now in Sarazanmai,
please talk about utterly sexy.
You'll see bubbles in water, and it'll say flashback. The logo for the Otter Corporation can kind of look like the logos, the little penguin logos from Penguin Drum, and also just the designs for some of the otters in certain episodes. I think you mentioned they kind of look like some of the bears from Yurikuma. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, just there's a lot of artistic similarities, but and again, I think both Zaria and Lachlan on the Sapphic Sanctuary are doing I think like mostly like week to week analysis of Sadazanmai right now. So if you want to head to their YouTube, they'll talk way more in depth about it. But yeah, for now, I think you're only following the dub. I'm following both. So I've seen up to the current episode of the Japanese, as well as the dub, which I think is episode 4.
Personally, my favorite part of it is this dubbed insert song that they have called Utterly Sexy. It is just a joy to listen to.
In the Japanese, it's Otter Soya, which the subtitles don't translate it fully. They just leave it as Soya. And the thing with Ikuhara is he loves puns and he loves wordplay, and so pretty much the entire show is just riddled with puns, and that song is just one giant pun. To explain it, yeah. we'd be here all night. But
go listen to it. It's glorious. Ian Sinclair is one of the singers. He is just wonderful.
Well, like Clint Bickham is a genius when it comes to writing. And I think he's adapted the script really, really, really well. I'm not sure if he's also doing the music or if somebody else is adapting the music.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he wrote this song, but Don Bennett is the music director, at least for Utterly Sexy. I don't know if she'll be doing any other music directing further on, but she directed Utterly Sexy. And she did a phenomenal job.
I think for a simuldub, I'm surprised they're able to adapt some of the songs. I did not know Alejandro Saab could sing.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
He has a really nice tone to his voice, dude. Like,
right?
Dang, Alejandro.
Props to you,
sing.
Bro.
I mean, pretty much all the actors in the show can sing pretty well.
If I ever have to sing, I'm just glad auto-tune exists.
It won't. I will just say, yeah, auto-tune is there, but it's not.
It can only do so much.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. This is a show we are both watching. The Helpful Fox Senko-san. Okay,
so upon reading the description of this show, you might feel a certain way, which is totally understandable because anime. But it is very much not that kind of show at all. It is very, very true to its like Iyashike type archetype. It's it's about this salaryman who hates his life, and he comes home one day to find a fox deity who looks like a small child. And again, I know what you're thinking. However, basically, she just kind of comforts him, and not in that way.
Yeah, there is nothing creepy
about
it. Like, it's very pure, very just innocent. And I also like how they actually address.
She kind of just makes sure he like doesn't die, essentially.
Yeah, I do like how they made the main character like aware, like, okay, this is a little girl, like doing like this is how I am aware of how this looks. Yeah, but it does look like a little girl, but she's also 800, and there's nothing really wrong with what they're doing. It's
and again,
like your knee-jerk reaction is to say hello, police, but if you like give it a moment, you'll realize it's not like that.
Yeah, I know, and again, because anime is so famous for this ridiculous trope of like, here's this character who looks like they're 8 years old, but really they're like 5,000, and it's like, come on, anime. But this is not that kind of anime. This is truly like a sit down, relax, take a load off, and just feel good for a little bit. You know,
I sort of like what I really like about this is it's very pro mental health message. Like, you're not, like, it's saying like you have to like take care of yourself. Don't just like, or else you'll burn out. Like, or it's okay to have someone help you. It's good. There's nothing wrong with taking it easy. Like, you don't, like, that guy slept in all day one time and was better for it. Like, I completely get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pro mental health in a good way, that in such a way that, like, actually explains what you can do to help yourself, like, unwind, like play video games, take a nap, sleep later, eat healthy. It's a really good message without being, like, preachy.
Yeah. Which I think probably in Japanese society is probably very much needed.
Insanely prevalent.
Again, like, I don't live in Japan. I don't know, you know, like, I don't have firsthand experience, so I can't really comment too much on that, but but I know, like,
I've read
working very hard is definitely part of their culture, and mental health is still, again, I'm sure it's come a really long way, but I think there's still some taboos that need to be worked out.
It's come a long way, like you said, but it still has a ways to go.
Yeah.
It's getting better, but it still needs to get better. It's a major work in progress over there. I've read articles about, like, I forget what they officially have, like, a name for, like, workplace, like, in Japanese for workplace burnout that escapes me.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
They even have and even more terrifying, they have a name for suicide from burnout, which tells you about, like, the state of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good message to have at the right time.
Hello everyone, Tim from Shui Media here, letting you know that today's episode is brought to you by Weebly. Don't know what Weebly is yet? Well, I will tell you. Weebly is a web hosting platform unlike any other. Not only is it affordable and easy to use and fun to use, you also have unlimited bandwidth when it comes to uploading audio and video. Running a business such as, say, a podcast network is hard work. And I cannot recommend Weebly enough, especially because it's the platform that we run Shui Media through. That's right, all of your favorite Shui Media shows in one way or another come through a Weebly website, and you can help out Shui Media today by signing up through the link in the description. Do you have a business that you want to run? Hell, do you want to start a podcast network or just your own podcast? Weebly is the place for you to do it, and you can sign up today with the link in the description. You will help us out and help yourself out by doing so. If you're not too great at web design and are worried, well, will my website look good? Weebly's got you covered. They have tons of great professionally designed templates to get your website started today and looking great while you're doing it. So head in the link in the description, click that, sign up for Weebly today, help Shui Media out, help yourself out, get your business, get your dreams started, and share the love. For more information, head over to shuimedia.com or weebly.com. That's weebly.com. And now, back to the show.
Some things that I am not watching at the moment just because I'm probably going to catch up on them later. But I am reading the manga for both, so I'm kind of in no rush. And that's Bungo Stray Dogs Season 3 and Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I'm watching the dub on Toonami of that. It's good stuff. Like, they really know like the first episode of the second half, like opens with a literal bang, and they know how to open an episode. They know how to open a second part of a season on that show. That's all. I'm not going to spoil. I think that's all I'm saying. They know how to open with style.
Yeah, and like I said, like I follow the manga. I've been reading it since the beginning, so some shit is gonna happen, and it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, I follow the manga too. I picked up after the first season ended, and yeah, shit gets wild.
Even currently, I have no idea what the fuck's going on anymore. I'm just kind of waiting until it ends. And then
there was a lot of talking for a long time, and that just sort of made me like completely took me out of it.
What's kind of annoying too is this is just like a kind of like a side rant, but okay, people on Twitter really like to find or just people on the internet in general like to find these like barely translated leaks of chapters from the manga, and then like based on some incredibly rudimentary rough translation jump to like a million conclusions based on these like panels that are completely out of context, and that happened with a couple of the last chapters. And yeah, if people could just like stop doing that, that would be great.
Yeah,
because then
we do not need that.
Well, everyone just freaks out over nothing, and it's just like, oh my goodness. Anyway, side rant. Another show that I think we're both watching is Isekai Quartet, which I'm having a lot of fun with.
It is a hoot.
I love pretty much. Well, I haven't seen much of Overlord. Yeah, I know. Shut up.
You need to watch it.
Well, you need to watch the rest of Konosuba. So, I adore Konosuba.
I'm waiting for the dub of season 2.
I adore Konosuba, and I adore ReZero, and I just love seeing those characters interact. I think it's really great. I'm such a huge fan of Ainz and Tanya being friends.
Yes.
I think that's so adorable.
I friendship the hell out of them. It's just like they have so much in common, yet just appearance-wise, they look like they wouldn't, because one's an undead ruler, and the other one is a 12-year-old like Nazi lowly. And you wouldn't think that they would have much in common, but then they just bond on the park bench, and it is just
and they're
glorious.
Like,
oh,
you used to be like, oh, you're Japanese. Oh, you used to be a salaryman. Holy shit!
Oh, OMG, me too.
Or like Subaru and Kazuma, which is pretty much a given. I mean, they're literally the same person.
They were meant to be friends from the start. It was obvious.
And then, like, of course, like Rem and oh crap,
Albedo.
Yes, I was gonna say the white dress lady demon thing from Overlord.
Albedo.
Yeah,
the Overlord best girl.
They're starting to bond over their unrequited obsessions.
Yes.
Although I would say, within the context of the show, though, I think Albedo is a little bit more obsessed with her interest than Rem is.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say unrequited. It's just they're more unreciprocated at this point, because Ainz, unlike other main characters, isn't a completely oblivious idiot, and he was the one who wrote the program that says Albedo's in love with him.
Yeah.
So he is completely aware of her feelings. This goes back to the original season, to like the first episode of season 1 of Overlord, where he does that. So for him to not realize that would be just the epitome of stupidity for him. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
But in the case of like Rem and Subaru, well, I mean, if you've seen the show, then, you know, it's kind of played up for laughs, considering this is supposed to be kind of like a comedy show.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's exaggerated, but the characters act basically the same. Just scenarios are overplayed a little and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was just saying that I'm really happy because one of my favorite characters from Overlord, Hamskay, is also in this. He's coming up in a future episode. And I just love Hamskay, and I'm so glad he's back.
Which one is that?
The giant hamster.
Oh. Yeah, see, I don't watch it, so I'm just like, I don't know their names.
The wise master of the forest.
Okay.
The giant hamster with like a scorpion tail.
Oh my god.
He's back.
Fucking RPGs, man. Okay, anyway. Anywho,
freaking make your own freaking make your own familiars, man. People are scary.
Anywhoozles. Okay, so a show I tried watching was okay. I need to preface this that I was mildly excited about this show, and very much let down for reasons that I will explain in a sec. So, coming off of their success, question mark, from Sirius the Jaeger, I guess PA Works was just kind of like on a steampunk kick, I guess. So they decided to come up with Faragon, which is basically like some like turn of the century, maybe steampunk environment where people are a bunch of stand users, but they're called like fairies for reasons, and they're like fairy soldiers, which is still incredibly funny.
Imagine like you're a human Pokeball, and if you squeeze your heart, like, and hear a loud, and like it makes a loud beat, and a fairy shoots out of your body and fights another fairy,
they're basically
or F's up a cartel or something.
Basically stand users. It's like basically a stand user. The thing is, like, I really wanted to like this show. I got like 4 or 5 episodes in. It's just like, cause like the animation's really nice. The music's really nice. The dub cast is really solid. But okay, so it's by the author of Grimgar, which was from like, I think like 3 years ago. I think it was in the spring. I don't remember.
One of the first isekai to catch on too, now that you mention it.
Definitely not the first. But
I said one of. Anywho,
like
you were saying
4 years later. Anyway, the point is, it's okay. So that author has this habit of making everything like really slow paced, and he has this tendency to raise more questions than he answers, and he kind of tends to just not really provide a whole lot of context, and that really annoyed me. And I just found myself like zoning out so many times through certain parts and having to like rewatch them, and then I would just like keep zoning out. So I really tried. I really tried. This kind of reminds me of like Kato the Right Answer, which is another show
a little bit
that I really tried, but I was just bored shitless.
I, as someone who likes it and is watching it, I will give it some tough love. You're right. Sometimes the pacing is just ridiculously slow, and it doesn't really matter. The interesting contrast here is it's by the guy who wrote Grimgar, but it's directed by the same guy who did Drifters.
Yeah.
Which is like really fast, which is like really like fast but steady pacing. So it's an interesting mash to watch, really. Basically, they do like most of an episode is like exposition, introduce the character, tell what's happening. If it's a new and interesting character, it'll keep your attention. Like when Bittersweet was introduced, that was a really good episode because it was like this like badass mob boss assassin, like femme fatale kind of design. And
speaking of designs, can we talk a little bit about their mode of transportation a second? Because
you mean the trucks?
Because no. The
trucks.
Okay. Like, okay. Broke 4-wheel drive. Woke 4-leg drive, motherfucker.
Yes, it's honestly
I swear to
really
God, these
reminded
fucking
me.
spider trucks.
It reminded me of like Miyazaki when I saw those.
A little bit, yeah.
Like Howl's Moving Castle, part Howl's Moving Castle, part Spirited Away, and then like just a little bit of just a couple dashes of Wild Wild West with all the steampunk from that. I was like, okay, you have like normal carts and trains, but nope, cars gotta have legs. Okay then, just got to accept that.
What else?
But yeah, back to what I was saying. They're good. It's a lot of exposition, and then a little bit of action. Like, though the newest episode, to its credit, had a fair amount of action in it. Like yes, there was exposition, but it's this whole train scene that is just cool as hell. Like,
yeah,
it basically comes under fire. There's all this awesome. There's this really cool battle scene. One thing that I love about this show, and I mentioned this when we did Azeta, is the fight choreography is phenomenal. It is just beautifully done, and they actually like write the soundtrack to the choreography, or the choreography to the soundtrack, because those things just click. Like, and another interesting thing about the soundtrack, if you'll allow me this one little segue.
Sure.
Most of the soundtrack of the original songs, or at least I don't know if they're original, but most of the soundtrack is in English, not like English dub, but like sung in English by the Japanese singer.
Yeah.
It is really rare to hear that much in English that frequently in an anime. Like, yeah, like the last show I can think of that had that many that had even near as many English songs was World End, which had like 4. Which had like 4. And then this has like at least, we're at like episode 8 or 9, and I've counted at least like 4 or 5, maybe 6 insert songs in English.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a perfect show, but I still would recommend it. It's a different animal for sure.
At least
at the same time, it's interesting.
At least watch it for the characters' ridiculous names.
Yeah.
Like,
if you liked,
like, what in the actual fuck? Okay, first of all, I think Pillywiggin is a Pokemon. Second of all, why does Wolfram look like a Yirachka that quit ice skating and left to become a sniper or some shit? Like, is this what happens when he goes back to Russia?
Wow. And the funny part is, both those guys are voiced by Micah Solusod in their dubs.
Really? One sec.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's Dave Matranga.
Yeah.
Mike is in it, but it's a different character. Never mind.
I was gonna say,
but
I'm
yes,
pretty sure that's David Matranga.
Yes, you're right. I got my blondes crossed for a second. But yeah, I completely agree. And also, one of my favorite names is, and I have to sing this to AC/DC because this is just ridiculous. One of the founders of like the study of fairies was Hell's Bellwood! Or Hell S. Bellwood. And all I could think was, why the heck are they not ripping off AC/DC in the music background for this exposition? Because, god damn it, they needed to. Like that won't be lost on anyone. I don't even care if you're into... I don't care if all you listen to is classical. You've heard of that.
That's like some JoJo shit, right? See, again, stand users. Swear to God, this fucking show.
Yeah, even I was like, okay, that's a JoJo's reference if I've ever seen one.
Let's see. What else have I been catching?
I try to give, like, original credit, but even that's like, oh no, that is straight out of JoJo's.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good show. Like, overall, it's not... It has its flaws, but I would still say it's good.
I would say, if you're already watching it, you're probably already a fan of the show.
Like me.
Yeah. I tried, but I couldn't do it. However,
yeah.
I am enjoying Kodo Club very much.
Me too.
I very much ship Hozuki and Chika.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
I am with you 100% there. Just go out already. You are perfect for each other. Just acknowledge it, damn it.
It is weird. Okay, so in My Roommate is a Cat, Alexis Tipton voices this really nice lady who has a bunch of cats and helps the main character out when he's having trouble with Hadu and her diet and stuff. And it's just really funny to see her go from playing this really sweet girl who, like, you know, takes care of animals and is, like, a really nice person to her character in Kodo Club, who is just this unrelenting, vindictive little cutthroat little pixie. Like, oh my god.
You're being too polite here, really. Like, she is just
basically
evil.
This bitch is a sociopath.
Yeah, she, like, lives to wreck people and wreck relationships.
And, like, I don't know, like, the way that they... I mean, I imagine maybe they'll go a little bit more in depth in the next couple episodes, maybe, but, like, I feel like the explanation they give is just, like, fucking really...
Like, she was mad that this one chick stole her boyfriend, so she became this just evil, heartless, vindictive monster.
Like, I understand, like, what that person did was really shitty, but
yes,
it's just, like...
not denying that.
But it's, like, I'm so confused. She just goes around and decides to do the same thing, and I get, like, maybe she's trying to protect herself, but the way that they're explaining it is really not justifying it at all. So
no, it's just really it seems way more immature than it.
They're really gonna. This is like some soap opera level shit. Like, they're really gonna have to, like, pull out something to make me care about her at all.
She better be, like, just the most banging Kodo player to ever exist, because I cannot see how they salvage her at this point.
Oh, I doubt she can play it for fuck, but I'm just saying. But I think
I'm just hoping. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm grasping at straws here too.
That being said, I think the rest of the characters, thankfully, can see right through her bullshit.
Yeah, because they're real friends who actually care about each other and will actually, if there's a problem, ask questions. A novel idea.
But yeah, man, I feel so bad for Hozuki.
Oh my god, yes, that she is just, like, tragic.
Like, oh my god.
Honestly, she is, like, the fastest I have ever gone from disliking an arrogant character to suddenly liking it. Like, okay, you're just, like, way too full of yourself. Oh my god, just come here, you need a hug.
Oh, I liked her immediately, but that's just me.
I mean, I didn't, like, completely dislike her, but at the same time, like, okay, she's gonna be that character, at least for a while. I could just sort of tell.
Well, like, right away, I picked up on the dynamic that she and Chika had, so I was just like, okay, I already love her.
Oh yeah, that was obvious. Like, I wasn't expecting it to go as fast, for it to happen as fast as it did, but I'm thinking you can definitely tell. And in one of the credits, it shows them like walking like a couple, so it was spoilery there. So it was, yeah, you knew something was going down, just not sure about as to the course of events. Oh, another show I'm doing just the dub of, because it was one of the same days, but then it got pushed back, and I'm just like, screw it, I'm following the dub, I'm committed. Is Mix. It's a remake of a show from the...
No, it's a sequel.
Sequel, yes, you're right. It's a sequel from a show in the 90s, and it's about these two stepbrothers and their sister, and they play bass, and the brothers play baseball, and it's really more of like a family show, than anything, but it's wholesome, and it's like wholesome, it's well paced, the writing is really good, and like none of the characters are really throwaways. Like everyone has their own part to play, and no one's just there to be there. Like,
okay, so the author. So in terms of being a sequel, so the author is Mitsuru Adachi, and he is known for like romantic comedy sports mangas. Essentially, there's Touch, H2, Cross Game, which is my personal favorite, and now Mix. So this is Mix is basically a sequel to, I believe, Touch. If you haven't seen a Cross Game, though, holy crap, it's probably one of my favorite sports mangas. Okay, so yeah, Mix is sort of like a spiritual sequel to Touch, because it also takes place at Koshien.
Yeah.
And this was like in the 80s, so.
Okay, yeah, even further back than what I said.
No, it's fine. Cause like, well, Cross Game kind of came out like in the really early 2000s. And again, if you haven't like read the anime, read the manga, seen the anime, track it down. It's amazing.
It's really well done. I'll just be straight. I am not usually one for sports anime. Like, I am really picky about the sports shows that I like. Like, I've seen a bunch. The only two sports shows that I've seen, and I've seen for certain in their entirety, are Bamboo Blade and Keijo. So, and the other ones, there were other ones like Prince of Tennis and Big Wind Up, and maybe one more that I'm blanking on, that I tried picking up, and they were like good. There was nothing wrong with them. They just couldn't keep my interest. But Mix has had me my interest in Mix has never waned. It's always just been right where it needs to be. It's a good balance of sports and at the same time just relationships. Like, it's like shows family, like the kids' family life, with their parents' friends, their sister, and then their sport, and their school and sports life, and how those all intermix. And it's nothing complicated. It's really just like it's supposed to be a feel good kind of show. There's no like serious like danger or drama at play besides like who gets to pitch this game or whatever, or maybe someone or something like that, but harmless stuff. And it's just really sweet and just endearing that way.
Yeah. I haven't really been following it too closely. I'll probably pick it back up again. Because I have seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes, I think. And I mean, I'm liking it so far. I like that they kind of kept the original style of like that sort of classic 80s, 90s style.
Yeah, the look of it.
Yeah, just because Adachi has a very distinct art style. So
yeah, that's one of the things that grabbed me when I first saw like the promo art and stuff for it. It was different. That's same thing. Same with Fairy Gone. The art is what grabbed me there first too.
In terms of like sports anime, though, I mean, obviously my favorite is Haikyuu. I have both seasons. Eagerly awaiting.
Yeah, season
for
3 is coming out too.
Well,
at some point.
it came out actually like 3 years ago, but Sentai is finally releasing it on Blu-ray, which is really cool, and I am very much excited because I adore that series to bits. I have the limited editions for both season 1 and 2. Comes with some really awesome stuff.
My favorite limited edition that I have, at least for right now that I have, is for the Ancient Magus's Bride. That Ellie is just beautiful.
Yeah, I got the regular.
I am a sucker for another thing. I'm a sucker for not just Japanese string instruments. I just love any kind of Gaelic Celtic lore. So when I saw the book design of the collector's box, I was just like, I gotta buy that. And I did, and all the art in it is just ugh. Take me now. I love it.
I wanted to buy it, but at the same time, I didn't really have the money for it. But then also, they did that thing where they like split it up, so it's like a part 1.
They do that with just about every every upcoming show release that's more than like 16 episodes.
I know,
or 18. That's more than 18 episodes.
I know, and it's annoying. I like to have the whole show.
Yeah, I do too. For the most part, I mostly try to buy the complete series, and then though my collection has tons of exceptions.
I think the only exception
to that.
The only a couple of exceptions that I have are the first season of Attack on Titan. Funimation split those up, and they're actually in different colors. One's red, one's blue.
Wait, the first season?
Yeah, the very first season. They split them up.
It's only 13 episodes. Isn't that the 13 episode one?
No.
Oh no, that's the second season. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to buy the complete series, but at the same time, I have tons of parts 1 and 2s in my collection.
And then I have some Aniplex shows that they split up. But anyway,
I have precisely 2.
This episode is brought to you by Brews and the Boys. So, what's your favorite American football team? Did you say the Dallas Cowboys? If you didn't, you're wrong. And if you're still saying, well, Tim, no, they're not my favorite team, well, let me recommend that you listen to the Brews and the Boys podcast with Michael Sizemore and Tom Ryle of Blogging the Boys so that they can prove to you that your favorite team is indeed the Dallas Cowboys. Brews and the Boys is your friendly neighborhood podcast that's a lot like going down to your friendly neighborhood bar and watching and talking about the game with your friends. Every week, Michael and Tom give an in-depth analysis about what the Cowboys have done, what they're doing, their player stats, player analysis, everything under the sun that you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys you can find from Michael Sizemore and Tom Ryle every week on the Brews and the Boys podcast on Blogging the Boys and the Vox Media Podcast Network. For more information and episodes, head on over to brewsandtheboys.com. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, I don't really splurge on that too much, but I think the ones I got were definitely worth it.
The only 2 Aniplex ones I got were Erased and Your Lie in April.
I have Occultic 9, and I have March Comes In Like a Lion. Oh my god, that season 2 Blu-ray is gorgeous.
I think the next Aniplex show I'm probably going to buy is going to be Cells at Work when that comes
same.
out.
Definitely
I
same.
loved it too much. It was too good. And the dub cast is just phenomenal.
I'm really, really glad that they decided to dub it, because I was going to cry if they didn't.
Yeah, after seeing like the huge turnout for it. I would have been surprised if they hadn't.
I mean, it's really garnered. Okay, so much so that there's a channel on YouTube that I follow called Dr. Hope Sick Notes. He's a junior doctor in the UK. His name is Ed Hope. And he's been actually like reviewing different episodes of Cells at Work on his channel.
Is he the one who wrote the review,
No.
thing about the cancer episode?
No, that was somebody else.
Okay. Because can we talk? Okay, while we're here, can we talk about that cancer episode, please?
I think we did last summer, but sure.
Because I need to say it again. I just still cannot get that how existential that cancer cell was out of my mind. Like, just the raw emotion in that. Like, my purpose is to spread and destroy, and yet somehow that makes me the bad person. I didn't ask for this life, it just happened. Why does this happen to me? All I could think was, oh my god, I feel bad for a cancer cell.
Okay, so the doctor that wrote that little bit on the episode was a Japanese doctor named Satoru Osaka.
Okay.
And he is a postdoctoral fellow in the Molecular Neuro-Oncology Department of Emory University School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. But yeah, that... If you just want to if you just want to mind fuck, just watch the cancer episode. It is insane.
And then also, like, read the article, too. I think A&N posted about it. Again,
they
like,
did. There was a link to the
summer
article
of last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, but essentially it's like, okay, this might freak a lot of people out, but essentially you have lots of abnormal cells in your body every day. Like pretty much all the time. But if your immune system's intact, it takes care of it. There's not really a problem. It's just when those cells are able to reproduce at an alarming rate. And again, this is very, very, very simplified. But essentially it's like, usually with people with like weaker immune systems, your immune system like just isn't able to cope with it. And that can allow those cells to metastasize and grow. And so on and so forth. Yeah. Anyway.
You're not watching this, but I'm watching the sub and dub of, a girl who chants love at the bounds of this world. It's based on like a 1996 video game.
Okay.
It has to do with time travel, and it honestly, I thought it would be like, I went into it thinking it was trash based on like how they fleshed out the main character at the beginning of the first episode, but it is.
Yeah, I was reading the reviews. I was reading some of the initial reviews, and people did not like this main character at all.
No, but boy, has he redeemed himself, at least in my eyes. There's corporate espionage in like time travel, magic stuff, weird weather phenomena. There's a lot of stuff to it, and it's honestly a really well done show. Like good story, plot makes sense. It's even linear for a time travel show. Go figure. And the characters are all really well done. Like, it's a good show, and the dub is awesome too.
I think another show I might try to give another chance is Robohachi.
Robihachi.
I'm trying not to look at. I keep approaching it with like this sort of semi-cynical attitude that it's the somehow like discount version of like Tiger and Bunny and like Space Dandy.
It's a poor man's Space Dandy, basically. Like, it's about these guys who want to go to Isekandar.
Sorry, / Gintama.
Yes. These guys want to go to Isekandar for, I forget the reason at this point, and their adventure is just them planet hopping and somehow interfering and solving a problem in that planet's culture or economy. Like,
yeah, these guys are idiots.
Yeah, it's the first character is basically a happy-go-lucky dude, bro, and the second one is he's like the brain. He's like the brains of it, while the other guy is just like the idiot.
Shout out to the paranoid android Bunny Butler.
Yes.
I love him.
And honestly, and they're also for the idiot dude bro main MC is in a lot of debt to this one gangster who also is pursuing him through in their travels, and their ship like can transform into a robot, and the gangster's ship is like a giant golden Shachihoko. So that's some culture for you. And what I am really happy about is in something that you cannot tell me isn't a reference to Space Dandy. Ian Sinclair is the main bad guy, and Alison Victorin is one of his henchmen in the dub. Like, if you can't look me in the eye and tell me that is not Dallas Reed doing an homage to Space Dandy.
Quite possibly. I still think it's funny that like the roles are kind of reversed.
Yeah,
like this time he's the villain.
He's doing the chasing instead of being the chased. Yeah, and then they just are sort of like just idioting around the galaxy. Like, they go to Mars, then Pluto, then random planets outside on their way to Isekandar for apparently you can get rich quick there or something. And it's like a stupid road trip comedy movie. Like, don't go in expecting a cinematic masterpiece. Just enjoy it just enjoy it and have a good time, and just don't think about it too hard. There's not a lot to it, but it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
And Chris George is the lead, and he's absolutely crushing it. This is his second lead. I think his second lead ever after Interviews with Monster Girls, and he is just. You can tell by how he's playing Robbie that he is just having the time of his life in this show, and I can never fault an actor for having fun when they record. Like, you can feel the fun he's having coming through.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Chubbs.
Yes, we love you, Chubbs.
So yeah, one last show I want to mention that I am very much waiting for, and you can bet I will be talking a lot about it when it drops. And that is Carolyn Tuesday, which is the new show from the dynamic duo of Shinichiro Watanabe and Studio Bones. And it's about these two girls who are musicians. It takes place on fucking Mars.
Yeah, that's a twist for you.
And I've already heard previews of some of the songs, and they're gorgeous. And unfortunately, it is locked behind Netflix jail. So it will probably be released in like 6 months from now. But you can definitely bet that when it drops on Netflix, I will be talking about it a lot. We will definitely be talking about it in a future episode.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it too.
I'm so excited because it looks amazing. It sounds amazing.
It is serving about 6 months in Netflix jail with possible time off for good dubbing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're definitely dubbing it.
I know, I just wanted to make a jail joke.
Also, I think later this month, too, I think second season of Kakegurui is supposed to drop at some point. Oh, and then towards the end of this month will be the drop of Evangelion, which is...
Oh, yeah.
definitely caused a little bit of controversy.
Hold the
in
little.
part in part of and I say little with very sarcastic quotation marks.
Yeah, that
Yeah, there's a bit of a
people were pissed.
brouhaha over the dub, but again, we'll get to that in a future episode because
Yeah.
we are very much running out of time. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, I just want to burn through the last couple shows I'm watching really quick. I'm watching the Strike Witches Take Off, the Slice of Life spin-off. Like, imagine a Slice of Life episode from like one of the seasons of Strike Witches. It's basically that, just like funnier, pretty much. I'm also watching Million Arthur, which is just like a battle comedy show. Like, the characters are funny, they fight other people, and then one episode they got like turned into vegetables, kind of like that one part in Dragon Ball. It's like not amazing. It's not amazing, but it's still a fun show. And the last one is is the most wholesome show ever. Why the hell are you here, teacher? It's the ecchi comedy this season on High Dive. It's only sub right now. It's still funny. It's basically 4 3-episode vignettes about these teachers and this one student that like secretly have a thing for each other, and how their relationship is, and how like those feelings sort of bloom, if you will. And it's just stupid. It's stupid, ecchi funny. A lot of it's censored now, so you can't really. So some parts of it are actually a little confusing in terms of the actions, but not in a not immediately dirty way. But yeah, it's, if you just want some like good old ecchi trash, just watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Really quick, super burn through some other stuff. Watching little bits of Hitoribochi, which is like a little show on Crunchyroll. It's super adorable. It's like this girl. Okay, it's basically if they took Watamote but the main character was actually like an adorable cinnamon roll, and you wanted to protect her, and she wasn't like a super cringy, obnoxious asshole.
Okay, so like a Maru, but not an asshole.
It's basically like a good version of Watamote. No, the MC is absolutely adorable. She's super cute. All she wants to do is make friends, but she's also incredibly socially awkward. And like, so slowly she starts actually kind of coming out of her shell. And the thing is too, like, she really tries and she really cares. And it's just, so much of it is just like #mood. It's such a mood. Oh my god, it's so cute. I think it's hilarious. My trash show for the season is We Never Learn.
Oh yeah, I tried getting into that.
It's absolutely stupid, and I am enjoying it way more than I should be.
I watched the first 5 or so episodes.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Good. It just doesn't keep
so
my
stupid.
attention. Like, why? I just have like a why am I watching this moment lately when I try the episodes.
It's about this guy that ends up trying to like desperately tutor these girls who are in some way or another, bless their hearts, have some sort of like social incapability.
Yet they are geniuses, and one's in English, one's like a Japanese lit prodigy, the other's a math prodigy, and they suck at every other subject besides that. And the lit prodigy wants to study math in college, and the math prodigy wants to study lit, and the tutor will get like a really good letter of recommendation if he can make them pass those courses. So that's his obligation, and then he has to figure out like either how to make them good at this what they want to study, or just how to convince them to study what they're good at.
basically, it's a massive dumpster fire, and I can't stop watching it. But I love it.
I watched the dumpster fire for a while and then just went home. I didn't stay around. And
then a show that dropped on High Dive a while ago that I definitely want to get around to talking about at some point is Mysteria Friends or Manaria Friends. So this is in the Rage of Bahamut series. They originally announced it as an anime like I think like 3 or 4 years ago, but then it never came to be, and instead a couple years later they came out with the
Virgin Souls.
Yeah, the second half to Genesis, which was a Virgin Soul, which is still trapped in Amazon jail. So
yeah, that is just a damn shame. Like,
who the fuck knows what's gonna happen with that?
I hope to crap someone rescues it.
But definitely want to talk about Mysteria Friends at some point. I watched a little bit of the dub, which dropped on High Dive.
I've seen the first like 1 or 2 episodes of the dub too. It's cute.
It's cute. It's a girl and her little dragon friend, and it may or may not be extremely giddy.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if it took that route, just seeing how they interact.
So I am very much looking forward to watching it because I am shipping trash. Plus, I just like the Rage of Bahamut series a lot. It's probably really like the only it's the only fantasy that doesn't that I actually like.
I like Genesis. I know. It was fun. Ian and Chris were fun to watch.
Yeah, I really hope Virgin Soul can. Anyway, I don't want to think about it because it's going to make me sad. Anyway, we seriously need to wrap this up. Again, it's good to be back. Hopefully, with my new summer schedule, we can keep being a lot more frequent, and we will definitely keep you posted, for sure. Yes. In the meantime, you can continue to follow the show on Twitter, just at Dubterfuge Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Lunatic, which is capital L, 3 O's, an N, AHTIC.
And I'm just on Twitter at Matthew H. Voss. I like to make my handles simple and easy to find and logical. So if you want to find me, that's where you find me.
So yeah, we'll hopefully be back with some more updates on the shows that we're watching. You continue on the insanity train that is Sarazanmai.
Maybe we'll actually even do an episode about the show that we were planning on doing for such a long time before we each got wrapped up in our own lives. Who knows?
Yes.
Anything's possible.
It could also be one of the few technically maybe sports anime that Matt actually likes.
Yes, not just liked. I loved it. But yeah, that'll be a teaser for the next thing. Now we gotta do it since we're talking about it here.
Yeah, definitely. No, so yeah, we will keep you posted. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us after for this hiatus, because life.
Thank you so much for your patience. We really appreciate it, and we will definitely try to be a lot more frequent and not fall into the podcast trap of like
the podcast irrelevancy abyss.
Yeah, the podcast black hole.
Mm-hmm. We want to stay around and do stuff and talk about stuff and have people listen to us talk about stuff.
Yeah, because otherwise, we'd just be talking to the voices in our heads.
And those guys get boring after a while, I'll be perfectly honest.
Plus, some of them speak like Russian, and I don't speak Russian, so.
And the French voice in my head is just getting really fed up with me at this point. He says, make new friends, or faites nouveau ami, and I need to.
Okay, really quick, I'm just imagining that voice personified as like this really like smug like 15-year-old boy with like with a striped shirt, a beret, like smoking a cigarette, and like reading, I don't know, like Molière or something.
Yes.
I don't know why.
That is my French persona now. My French sona is Guillame, the pretentious Moliere reader with a cigarette and a striped shirt.
Please cosplay that. Oh my god.
I have a striped shirt here in my closet that I'm looking at right now. It's doable. Okay. It's possible. Too bad I don't smoke.
Okay, anyway, that's all from us for now.
Yes. We will be back.
Alright, bye.
Subterfuge is produced and distributed by Shui Media. The show was created and is hosted by Stella Luna and Matt Voss. The show is edited by Tim Philippi, and all the show's music is created by Stella Luna and arranged by Timmy Two Step. For more, visit dubterfuge.com.
Casting.